working.
Yeah.
But first of all, if you're passionate about what you're going to do, I believe in all work we do mistakes. So my first experience at work was when I reached at work. You have to be confident when you're doing something. Even if it's wrong, in our industry you have to be confident. Once you're confident, you give support of it. So my first cup to make was for a customer, and I made a mistake on it because the waitress came and gave me a cappuccino single. I made it and gave it to her. Then she told me, no, the guest wanted a flower on it. I could not make a flower. So I said, what I've given you is what is supposed to go. I cannot make another cup of coffee. Please take that to a customer. If he calls me, I will explain why. So that's how I started. But to me, when you love what you're doing, even when you make mistakes, still you will support that mistake and it will go. So I have love for the coffee, for the industry. I have love for what I'm doing, and when I'm on the station, trust me, I don't want anyone to disturb me. Even if you are home, even if you are the boss, once I'm in my bar, it is my turn.
It's your area.
Wait for my shift to get done, then you can bring me a coffee.
Interesting. If you're watching us, this is House of Talent, the coffee break. We are having some fun with Isaac and Charles here. Charles telling us about his first experience, and he was supposed to make a certain cup of coffee, which he did not do, but these are the different experiences that we have. So if you're a barista and it's your first day of the job, relax. You got this. Have some confidence. We have you here at the coffee break, and we're going to take a break right now. But when we return, we still have that part of we're going to brew a cup of coffee, which I believe is going to be very tasty. And we'll also be talking about how can we set up a successful coffee business, which I think very many people are trying to get into right now. So we'll take a break right now. This is the coffee break on House of Talent Television. Hello and welcome to House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel and this is the Coffee Break, the only coffee show in the land of Uganda. So if you're not here watching it, I don't know where you are. Welcome again to this edition where we talk about coffee, everything that involves, the coffee business. We're talking to baristas, we're talking to roasters, we're talking to farmers, and everything you need to know about coffee. This is the show where you learn about it. This is House of Talent Television. You can always catch us on social media handles at House of Talent TV. That's on Facebook, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, and on House of Talent TVUG.com. That's on our website. Make sure not to miss the show. If there's someone you know who needs to be watching this show, let them know that we are on right now, wherever you're watching from in the world. Today, I have two gentlemen in the house. These guys are very learned in coffee. They have studied, they have worked in coffee, and I'm excited to have them here because it's always good to have, you know, different experiences. You know, people come, people go, but everyone comes with a new experience. And I just want to welcome these guys in the house. Arnold and Ali, you guys are very welcome to House of Talent Television.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you guys. Thank you for honoring our invitation. I know it was a last minute thing, but you know, the rain in the morning and all these things, but you guys showed up here, and I just want to say thank you very much. And we just want to dive right into the show. As youthful guys, you know, young guys, good-looking guys, there are a lot of other things you could have been doing. I know there are guys who are playing football, there are guys who are studying to be doctors, you know, but you guys decided that we should get into coffee, you know. What prompted that idea that you should get into coffee? I'll start with you, Arnold.
Good morning, viewers, and my name's Arnold Arinda, barrister. Like any other young man, initially it's all about maybe money, making it in life.
Yeah.
So my journey in coffee was initially making money. I didn't know where all this would end.
Yeah.
But it was all about I need to earn something. I remember back then I had just had my boy, so it was all about making money for them diapers, and that was it. that was the start of everything. But as the journey went on, it is so beautiful, and it's an adventure.
It's something
that needs years and years of explanation of stories and telling how everything goes.
Well, today we're going to have those stories. And Ali, how did you, I know that there's lockdown going on, so did you wake up one morning and say, you know what, instead of being bored at home, let me get into coffee? What's that story for you like?
Actually, it wasn't because of the lockdown.
Yeah.
I was looking for a job in 2019 in some restaurant. So the barista had gone somewhere. They had no barista.
Yeah.
The boss was like, I'm going to give you an opportunity. I'll bring someone to give you some knowledge about baristry.
Yeah.
I said it's okay. I was looking for a job. As he said, we have to earn.
Yeah.
We set our goals to have some money and all that. But being in that position, I had love for it.
Yeah.
I fell in love with coffee. I did everything I could, but I had no that knowledge. So I decided to go to Brew Plus Academy. It's actually a laboratory found in Kamocha.
Yeah.
I started learning, and it's going very well.
Yeah.
I'm actually a student at MOBS University.
Yeah. Okay.
But I love what I'm doing.
Yeah. So what are you studying at MOBS?
Business administration.
So in the future, is you're going to take your coffee, add it with business administration, and become a businessman. Yeah?
Exactly.
That's interesting. So back to you, Arnold. We have had guys here who their first coffee experience, you know, wasn't that good. At least I know at least 70% of the guys who have been here always say the first time they took a coffee cup, it was bitter. You know, it wasn't like, you know, in Uganda we used to taking tea, you know, and they were like, the first coffee cup they took was really bitter, but somehow they ended up becoming baristas, you know. How was your first coffee cup for you?
It was actually interesting because I was so privileged I started from Endiro Coffee. So I was really around very good guys. So my first cup of coffee was like a test.
Yeah.
Because I used to see what these guys were doing, the art and everything. It was so beautiful. So the norm was you make the coffee, you take it. You don't waste it.
Yeah.
You make the coffee, you take it. So the guy who made barista, he was called Barista Isaac, he made the coffee and was like, this is for you. Back then I was an assistant. An assistant was mainly doing the juices, and you really had less opportunity to go to the coffee machine.
Yeah.
So the guy was like, today this is for you, and I had never tasted coffee. So when I took it, Yeah, for the first time it is bitter.
Yeah.
But with the milk, I had to finish it.
Yeah.
So the love went on growing, and then I wanted to make it for myself.
Yeah.
And before I knew it, I was actually like 2 weeks on trials. The HR phoned me and was like, so you've just been here 2 weeks and you're doing the coffee, and that's how I got tested, and it all went on.
Yeah.
And I started working.
Interesting. So, Ali, you told us that you basically got into barista because the barista wasn't there at that time.
Yeah.
And they just threw you in. It's like throwing you in the deep end when you go to the pool, and you really have to learn how to swim at that point. So, what was the first cup of coffee you made? Like, I know that I asked him what his first taste was, but the first cup of coffee you made, was it a disaster? Was it something that you made and you're like, you know what, I think this is what I should be doing in my life, you know? How was it for you?
Before having knowledge about coffee and tasting it,
Yeah.
I had friends, they would tell me coffee is sour, coffee is bitter, and all that, but my first cup when I took it, it was a bit harsh.
Oh,
I don't know if it was the coffee I took,
yeah.
and very strong. But as I went on to some restaurants, they gave me coffee with milk. I tasted it, I didn't even put sugar in it.
Yeah.
And it was very sweet and the aroma was nice.
Yeah.
But the first one, yeah, it was a bit bitter.
And what about your first experience making a cup for a customer? How was that like?
As I told you before, they brought me someone, but it was only for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So you learned for 30
For
minutes?
30 minutes. Knowing nothing about anything.
Yeah.
Even the machine, he told me you steam like this, an espresso should be like this.
Yeah.
So I had to do it because I wanted to try out, and yes, I wanted money.
Well, that must have been like a very scary experience because, you know, just throwing into a machine, you have
It
no
was,
idea what
but
you're doing.
Lucky enough,
Yeah.
the first coffee I made to the customer, the guy liked it. And he was like, yeah, you can do good coffee. Then the boss was around also. Then he said, you know what, it's really nice. And this baristry stuff is very good. So maybe you should go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like a month, and I had to start studying again.
Well, I think it's something that actually chose you. You know, I know some guys some guys will have given up at that point, and you say, you know what, let me try something else. Yeah. Arnold, we were talking earlier, and you said you've been to Oman. You've been to a country that no one has heard of. I was actually surprised to hear about that country. So, how was that transition from Uganda to Oman? I know a lot of guys have been to UAE. Most guys go to Dubai. You're the first guy on the show I've had who has, worked in Oman. There's a guy we had who worked in Kuwait. So how was the switch? How did you get from Uganda to Oman? And where did you end up next? And now you're back here to Uganda. How was that whole journey back to here?
It all started from, there is a bar called Torino. I don't know if you know it. Yeah. So I had the guy I was working with. So he left. So when he left, we were in touch, but lessly, not like usually. So before I knew it, he was in Oman. And I didn't know he was in Oman. Like the first time I communicated to him was like, oh, I'm in Dubai, So after like a month, he tells me, you know what, these guys need a second barista where I am. And to cut the long story short, I joined him and we started working together.
Yeah.
Not I had experience, because like the people there love coffee. They take coffee from the household, like they take the local brew from the household. So they really love the coffee. So it was a good experience. And I worked there for a year. The business was not really moving smoothly, so they had to. So I was like, I had a baby, so I already missed home. So I told the guy, since the business is not really well, let me go take a break, and maybe when things normalize, I'll come back. Yeah. So when I got here, we were in touch with the boss. So he told me, he was like, things are still hard. We can't, bring you back soon. And I was like, I have to earn. So that's when I got the Somaliland deal. Yeah. Just like how you said, you've never heard of it. Yeah. When they told me you're going to Somaliland, I was like, what? Somalia or Somaliland? The guy was like, there are two different things, Somalia and Somaliland. So I went to Google and I had to search about it, and But simply, like I told you, by that time I had the love. Because with coffee, it's like an addiction. You get the love is so intense. Like the more you don't take coffee, it keeps reminding you every day you need to take coffee. You need to take coffee. So I was sitting, but my mind was like, you need to get back to the machine. You need to get back to the machine. So when the deal came in, there was some good money. I was like, this is not the money I want, but then I need to go. So it is always a good experience. And to learn more. Somaliland was a different environment from Uganda, from Oman. So I really loved it, and it was fun. Like it is always good to learn more, and it adds more value and to you as a barista. Yeah,
that's very true. For those of you who are out there, just like you, when you hear the word Somaliland, there are two different countries. You have Somalia and Somaliland. So if you have your Google, Uncle Google, you can always go and check it out. I believe it's a country that, like you said, it has Somalians who went out and came back to stay in the country. Yeah. So it's kind of like how we have our Kisenyi here. That's how it is that side.
The locals are good, very peaceful people, but mostly the businesses are for the people who have been, who have made some money, and the locals also, but mostly there are those people who have been outside the country and just come back to set up some businesses.
I think it's a country that we should actually visit.
Yeah, very peaceful.
Yeah, so Ali, he has had his experience. He has been to Oman, he has been to Somaliland. Okay, before we take a break, I'd just like to ask you, like many baristas, actually, they don't want to stay in Uganda. Okay, so what is that dream destination you want to go to and work as a barista after you maybe finish your course? Or you could also want to maybe go to Masaka and improve the coffee there. So what's that destination that you would like to go to?
Me personally, I would love to stay in the country.
Okay.
And instead of going to some place where they know coffee, I would love to educate people around so that we all both know coffee. And yes, if that opportunity comes of going abroad, I can take it.
Yeah. Okay, so if you get that opportunity, which country would it be?
I'll go to Arab Emirates.
Arab Emirates, Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break right now. In the house, we have Ali and Arnold. Arnold, who has been around the place letting us know about a new country, Somaliland, and Ali, who wants to stay in the country and actually teach people about coffee, which is a very good thing. We're going to take a break right now. Get your cup of coffee, get your pen and paper if you want to write down anything, and we'll be right back. This is House of Talent Television, the coffee break with me, Emmanuel.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. Baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Brew Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing that course.
You have to know each equipment. You have to know the brew ratio. Actually, the brew ratio is
very important.
The most important. Brew ratio now most people may not understand. It is the ratio of water. The coffee powder to water, and the yield. Water in this article will bring us into the yield. If I put 10 grams of coffee into my portafilter, how much of it am I? Exactly. So if you don't master the brew ratio, everything is going to turn out a mess. You understand? Even if you know that knowledge and you don't master the brew ratio.
welcome back to the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel, and in the house today I have Arnold and Ali, two wise guys, two guys who have been around, two guys who are studying. One of them started on job, went backward. One started from the right place, going forward. Arnold, you were telling me earlier that you took the bull by the horns. Yeah. You started basically on station, and now you're working your way backwards into learning. How does that work? I figure that if you start from the station, you should already have gotten knowledge from that station. So why is it that you're taking a step backward to actually go back into school and learn more about coffee?
It's like learning a vehicle or a car when you're learning driving. But just like meeting you and start teaching you the driving. Maybe you don't know the basics.
Yeah.
But then when you go to the driving school, they have some basics. You have to do this, you have to do this. So with how I started was basically like a set of just get to know this and go make some money.
Yeah.
But then when I met Isaac from Brew Plus, there are many things that I saw and I was like, what? So coffee has basics, because coffee has there are a few things you need to know: how the coffee is grown, how the roast, the cupping. It is detailed. Not really very detailed if you're really focused. But like when I got back and I saw all these, and I was like, no, I need to add on whatever I have to be a better barista. Yeah, because you can't just take coffee because of making the money.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it is when you grow up and learn it and love it more, it's really a very good experience. So I had to really get back to the ground and learn more with Brew Plus.
Interesting experience. I think most people would have just continued, until you reach that point where you need a certain basic, but you didn't learn it, so it becomes a really big problem.
Yeah.
So for the people out there, if you learn on station, it's always good to go back, have a refresher course, because coffee is a changing industry. There are always new things that are coming up with coffee research, so people need to keep learning. Yeah, and Ali, you also started with a 30-minute tutorial, basically. They just threw you inside there. So I want to ask, is there, before you got into Brew Plus, okay, we've had people here who say that they studied on YouTube University, with your 30-minute tutorial before you got into Brew Plus, okay, did you take like an initiative to learn some things about coffee by yourself, or it was just like, you realized at that point and you're like, I need to go to Brew Plus?
I actually used the help of internet. Yeah, I did some research because I had to do the job, and it was an opportunity given once. I didn't want to stay back at home telling my boss that, what, this thing is hard, I can't do it. So I had to learn, did some research, what makes my coffee better. Yeah, I used the internet. Then after, I went back to the university. That's when during lockdown, it's when I decided, what, maybe you can do better at baristry. So I went to some academy. I found that their standard is a bit low. Someone recommended me for Isaac at Brew Plus, and it's a very good experience there.
So at least I know that all of us at a certain point have used YouTube University for one or two things. But it's interesting that there's actually a lot of resources out there. I know that there are people who want to start their baristry journey, the people want to be roasters, but they're looking at the schools, and some schools are expensive, some people don't have money due to the lockdown. But I think for those who are out there, you don't need to start in a school. You can start on station, work your way backwards, like these guys. Or you could just go to YouTube, go to the internet, search something. So by the time you get the opportunity, you're already on your way moving. So guys, today I want to talk about the different lessons that you've basically learned on this journey. Because I know that there are many lessons, Before you got into it, you had no idea about what coffee was. But now, standing and connecting the dots backward, you can actually see everything a bit more clearly. So what are some of those lessons that you have learned, as a barista, as a student, as someone who has worked on station, basically to let the baristas out there know what your experience has been, and also those who want to get into coffee, to guide them into, getting into this business. I'll start with you, Ali.
The lessons learned, you get to know a lot about coffee. You fall in love with coffee. You get to know that it has nutrients, vitamins. It can help you when you're like lazy or low. It has that caffeine. You get to learn more about coffee and its importance. Not only because you want the job, but you appreciate coffee. Yeah.
All right, interesting. Arnold?
Along the way, I think I will say I've learned to be humble. Like I told you, I was just an assistant who was just supposed to stand there and make the juice and.
Yeah.
But because I was humble to these guys, to my leaders, they really saw something in me and they gave me an opportunity.
Yeah.
And then being eager to learn, for everyone who is out there, with the young men, every young man out there, you need to be eager to learn, because there are many opportunities there. I don't know, I've met Emma today, I don't know where we shall meet any other time. I will meet this person. So always be humble and be eager to learn. And then about coffee, I've learned, like I think I've learned that always take everything in the steps. Because if I had started with the basics, I wouldn't be back here now.
True.
So like, if you have the opportunity, take it in the right way. Always be humble, take the opportunities, and be eager to learn. Yeah.
Interesting. So you have to be humble.
Be humble.
And also be eager to learn. Yeah, I know there are some people, when you say be eager to learn, their mind runs back to school, and some people are not so good with school. Yeah. More on the lessons I'd like to take from, basically as a barista, you deal with people. Okay, you're not serving animals, or you're serving customers. Okay. And sometimes you meet different kind of customers. You have the very nice customers who will appreciate you whether you're doing a good job or you're not doing a good job. Then you have the harsh ones. You feel like you've made the best cup of coffee, but you know they are trashing that cup of coffee. They're telling you could have done better and all that. So working with different types of people, working with different types of customers, what are some of those lessons that you have learned that can make the customer experience better for the customer and also better for you as a barista?
First of all is be confident in yourself. Because if you're not confident, I will not be able to explain to you what I'm doing. If you make a cup of coffee and a customer comes and says, oh, this is not how I wanted it, be able to get back to them politely and tell them this and this and this and this. Because you need to, and you need to have the knowledge about the coffee, about what you're doing. Because if customers know what they want, you come and say, I want a cappuccino, you know what you want. So if I give you something different, you're going to get back to me. So I need to have the knowledge, and I have to be confident enough to explain to you that this is what you wanted, this is what you ordered for, and this is what we're giving you. So basically, you need to be confident, and you need to have the knowledge. Like that's why I told you, I'm back now. I need to have the knowledge from zero, from one, so that when something comes up, you're able to explain to a customer. You're able to, because if someone goes today because of a mistake you've done, they may maybe not come back, and that will cost you as a barista, as a business at large. So you need to be confident and need to have the knowledge. And then you have, we always have our own issues going on in our lives. You always take that aside when you're facing a customer, like when you're working. That should be really out, because you can't get your stress. Everyone has their own stuff going on in their lives, so you need to, have to be composed and know how to approach and associate with the customers.
All right. Ali, anything to add on that?
Yeah, like you've said, some are harsh, some are very sweet. So there's a time that can come and you find out that maybe the coffee was delayed in service or something, and the guy wants it warm or hot. You don't give back to the customer. Our main goal is to maintain the customers we have, so that we can get other customers, new ones, but maintaining those we have. So you should be problem solving. As a barista, you should be patient. You should know your work. You should create an a very good environment.
Yeah. Okay, interesting. So that's the side of the customers, yeah. But we have the side of the bosses. Some bosses are horrible. Some bosses will want to make you quit the next moment, yeah. But some bosses will always encourage you, yeah. So what are some of those lessons that you have learned from your bosses, whether good or bad bosses? Yeah? What are some of those lessons that you have learned from bosses, and are there some things that bosses need to improve on? Yeah.
Yeah, you know, as a barrister, when you're on the shift,
Yeah.
like I said, you need to have the knowledge. And then to the boss, you need to show them that you have the knowledge. They have to trust in you. They have to trust in what you give to them. So a boss always knows that they know, however much they hired you, but they know. So it sometimes you have to lower your ego down and, you know, let them know that, work together with them. Because they know. They think they know what you know. So you really have to go down and tell them, you know what, this and this and this is how we do it. This is how we do it. I know you have your own way, you know it, but we can, you know, incorporate it together and you can work it out this way. Because the bosses who are horrible, like you said, like, you know, you come and shout at you, you have this and this, but, you know, you need to, like I said, you need to be humble. You need to know how to handle situations. Otherwise, you can't make it. If you're that high-tempered, you will not make it. You will lose the job, and it's always not good to, you know, to leave a bad image behind where you never know what comes in the future. So you really have to handle everything with good care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ali, before we go for a break, your first boss. Okay.
Yeah.
What's that one thing you learned from him that has kept you through this coffee business?
I learned from my boss one thing. He knew coffee. So some bosses know what coffee is. And he was a very nice guy. He knew that I didn't know the job, but he made me feel like, yeah, I can do better. But if it was another person, then I would say maybe you need to be patient and humble, as he said. You should know that you don't know this thing, but are you willing to learn? Or you are a quitter, you should quit. So you should be problem solving, patient, and knowing what you want. Maybe others need to be taught. They may know, but they don't know everything about something. You can teach him and you'll be like, I did this because of this and this. That's it.
So when it comes to working, there's basically both sides, and actually three sides. The baristas are caught right in the middle. You have the side of the boss, okay, you have the barista, and then you have the customer. Okay, so basically everything is revolving around you, you know. So you receive information from both sides. So how you take that information as a barista will determine how good of a service that you want to give basically to both sides. That's really interesting. We're going to take another break right now. In the house, we're talking to Ali and Arnold, who have been telling us their experiences in coffee. They've been telling us different lessons. If you're a barista out there and you've had an experience, you've had different lessons, you can always send us a message, drop into our inbox, drop some messages on our social media handles. Let us know that you're watching. Tell us about the different experiences that you've had. And when we come back for the break, we're going into the best part of the show. I know the part that everyone waits for. We're going to brew a cup of coffee. These guys are going to put their experience to the test. There are certain things that we test, you know, for baristas when they come here. So we're going to be marking you guys. We're going to see how much you've learned here. This is House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel. This is the Coffee Break.
People at the moment are struggling to understand the older generation because times have changed. Technology has come in.
They've moved on.
Yes.
We're the ones sitting back and wondering, what is my child on to? TikTok has surpassed WhatsApp. The other one I call, I never call it Facebook, it's Bookface. Why are you on Bookface? Dad, it's Facebook.
Yes.
me, I keep saying, I have a foot amongst the millennials.
Yeah.
And I understand the traditionalists.
Okay.
There's a song in the 60s, by the way, and in the 90s, 70s, where they're like, parents don't understand.
Yes.
Remember Prince?
Yes.
Prince.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. You know, baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Brew Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing the course.
Have you had your cup of coffee? If not, this is the show for you. This is the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel. Remember, you can always catch us on our social media handles. You can catch us on Facebook at House of Talent Uganda, on our Twitter at HTV Uganda, on YouTube at House of Talent live stream. Make sure you catch all these shows, especially the Coffee Break, the only coffee show that happens in Uganda. You can also catch us on our website at houseoftalenttv.com. make sure you comment, let us know, like Mr. Eddie says, send us your kisses, your disses. If you like the show, let us know. If there's something you need us to change, let us know. If there's someone that you want to see on this show, let us know. We'll be sure to get them onto the show. Coming back to the show, Ali and Arnold were telling us their experiences, the lessons that they have learned, working with different kinds of bosses, working in different places, working with different customers. And for the baristas out there, I believe that the lessons that they have told us are really important things. But like I said before we went for the break, we're coming to the most important part of the show. You know that this is the part that everyone waits for. It's that part where we get to brew a cup of coffee. If you're new to the show, well, this is a tutorial for you. I know that guys are used to buying this Kawa coffee for 100 shillings and just pouring hot water into it and you know they get away with it and that's a cup of coffee. But there's a professional way to do things, but there's also an easier way, you know, professional and easy way to do things. So I just want to hand over to you guys. We have a lot of stuff here on the table. You know, we have coffee, we have flasks, we have all these things, and sometimes it can be terrifying, you know, to see these things. They tell you make a cup of coffee, seeing all these things, you don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
Okay, so for that viewer out there who is new to coffee, they're basic. They went to the supermarket, someone told them go and buy an AeroPress, and now they're just looking at the AeroPress. They don't know what to do with it, you know. So I just want to hand it over to you guys. Just take us from ground level until we get to our cup of coffee. So over to you, gentlemen.
Okay. Now this is an espresso. It is actually easy and quick to use. First and foremost, this is our basket we are going to use to make good coffee. We need to put this filter inside. An espresso was invented in USA by a man. He was actually a professor at Stanford. He was called Adler Allen in 2006. So we are going to put our filter inside, put it here, put some water here. What we are going to do is to first preheat the cup and the espresso.
Actually, that's one of the first things we test. Most of the baristas have come, you first have to preheat
and clean our equipment. So we are going to preheat. Even the filter, when you preheat, you remove that peppery taste.
Okay.
That's preheating. We are going to preheat our cups because we can't serve a cold beverage or a hot beverage in a cold cup. So this is it, preheating. When we are done with that, we want to remove our water real quick. In baristry we measure everything, water, coffee, but if you want to use your espresso at home, you can even put 2 spoons or 1, depending on what you want.
So it is what the baristas call the ratio.
We have to scale and weigh everything. So I'm going to put 2 spoons. I'm going to use this. That's our coffee.
So if I was to go to the supermarket to buy like an AeroPress like this, you know, how much would it cost me? How much would it go for?
I really know, but I really don't know about the price.
Okay.
But it's very nice and portable. You can move with it, go outside, camping.
But I think it's advisable to contact like Blue Plus to give you the really authentic thing, because the supermarket maybe may not get you the really perfect one, authentic one. So it's really good to contact the real good source and to get an authentic AeroPress.
So I'm going to first bloom to remove that carbon dioxide and gases in the coffee for a better taste. I'm going to bloom for a minute and leave it there.
Okay, so usually
to degas.
To degas it,
But you can also pour and wait.
Okay.
This is my...
So, like I was saying earlier, there are certain things we mark here, you know, to test you as a barista.
Yeah.
One of the things is that you have to preheat.
Yeah, you have to preheat. You have to really preheat.
Yeah. So if any barista came here and they did preheat, we have to question.
Because if you just serve the coffee, the peppery taste will be on in the coffee.
In the coffee.
And then the cup is cold. You can't serve. You
can also mix if you want. Yeah. So I'm going to mix.
Okay.
To create a nice bed and to soak every part of coffee.
Yeah.
After mixing, I can even pour. But as a side, you measure for that better taste. Depends on what you want. I'm going to remove this.
Maybe someone out there, they may think you just pour. It is just because of time we were not able to measure. But normally, this is always on a scale. There is a certain amount of the ratio of water to the coffee. So that is all done. But because of time, we cannot do all that.
So I'm going to wait for 1 minute,
and
our coffee will be ready.
Okay. So as we wait for our minute to get over, there's this idea that the coffee business or the coffee industry right now, especially baristry, is so dominated by the male figures. You know, it's a men's thing. I've met about 2 to 3 female baristas. The bigger number that I've met are actually men. Okay, so why is that so? Ladies afraid of getting into baristry? Is it something looked at as uncool? You know, what do you guys think? Why is it that it's hard for ladies to, get involved?
I think generally it's like the hard work. Women are the donkeys and all the stuff. So I really think the ladies sometimes they do shy away from the hard work, and maybe some ladies are not comfortable with the too much exposure from some of them are scared of the customers shouting at them, such stuff. But there are some really good brave ladies who have come out to get into the business, and I think because just the business is growing in Uganda, that's why we the men are the first to take the opportunities. So then you see the ladies are picking up slowly. And maybe like locally you may find someone who finds it difficult to employ a lady because of the loads of work always on the shifts. So they may feel like the lady is not really up to it like how a man can be. Okay. But there are really good ones who are coming up, and like you said, a few of them are coming up.
I'm going to plunge.
Okay.
You plunge like this. So our coffee is being pressed into the cup.
So I think for some of these processes, you really need to work on your arm strength.
There you go.
Yeah.
Our coffee is ready. So just invert it and clean up. You need to be real clean.
Yeah, hygiene is actually vital. We forgot to mention about it. A barista hygiene is really, really, really vital because people are skeptical. They will see you with your dirty hands.
Exactly.
So hygiene as a barista is very important.
So our coffee is ready. And it's
okay. If you are following us from home, I hope that you have got the same result. If you did something and your coffee turned out a bit different, it's your first time, it's okay. These things are a process you can always learn. These guys are here to help you. You can always contact us. We'll let you know where you can get them. There are different schools, and And as we close, we'll be taking a cup of coffee later, but we've come towards the end of our show. So we start with you, Ali. I just want you to look into that camera. Okay, I know there's a barista out there. There's someone who wants to enter that coffee business, but they do not know where to start. They don't know if it's a good decision for them. So I just want you to look into that camera and just talk to someone out there. Encourage them, and stuff about the coffee business.
Okay. Baristry is an amazing experience because you enjoy what you do. You love what you're doing. You get to love coffee. trust me, you can't regret making that good decision.
Yeah.
So if you're at home there and you want to be a barrister, please come and try out. It's very nice. It's an amazing experience.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Arnold.
To every barrister, every young man out there who is interested in making money, first of all, because barristry is not like something that you're going to learn and maybe at a point, yes, you may not get a job immediately, but it's a skill that you have in your head and you can actually invent and start your own business. That's the beauty about it. Like, the more you get exposure, the more knowledge you get from different places. So for any barrister out there, any young man out there who is really lacking and they feel like, should I try it? Come on, it's time. The coffee industry is growing big in Uganda and out. Baristas are really respected people, not like before. So please join. It is really a very good adventure. Come on, down at Blue Plus. We are ready for you.
Interesting. Before we go, I was watching a clip. I don't know if you guys got that clip. There was a gym trainer, very big guy. He was saying that people should actually become baristas because it's a cool thing when people call you a barista. It sounds nice. But in the gym, they be calling you trainer, coach,
gym instructor,
and all these funny things. Yeah. So, like the guy said, if you're out there, you're skeptic about the coffee business, especially for the students who are actually not going to school now. It's something that it's a skill that you can add. Okay. And not only a skill, it's another way to make money, right? It's a hustle actually. Kampala has hustles, It's one of those hustles because if you get different gigs, every weekend, you can pay your rent here, pay the water bill there. So if you're out there, baristry is the right way to go. The coffee business is growing, so it's better to get into it when it's still at the ground floor. When it reaches the upper floor, it's a bit harder, right?
It's a bit harder.
So I just want to thank you guys for giving us basically your time and also share your wisdom and your experiences with us. I hope that next time, when you come back here, hopefully we'll be talking about how you're setting up your coffee shop, how you're setting up a school or something like that. And till next time, I've had with me Ali and Arnold in the studio, sharing with us different experiences. We hope that next time they'll be back. And like I said before, if there is someone, a barista, a roaster, a farmer, who needs to be on this show, please send us a message. We'll make sure we headhunt them and get them on this show. Thank you for giving us your time. This has been the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. With me, Emmanuel. Till next time, enjoy your cup of coffee.
So I used to love the way our barista used to present his cups. For example, one day he presented some nice coffee. It was a cappuccino, very nice, presented. And I asked him, how do you make this? He said, you go to a school and study. So I used to love the passion he had. So I said one day I should learn this. So I kept on serving his orders. But I found out that most of the orders were according to the way he was feeling. Baristas present their cups according to the way they are feeling, according to the mood. In case he left home when he's sad, he's not happy, you will see the results in the cup. But when you see something beautiful, just know he's so happy. So the passion he had and the love he used to put in the cup really encouraged me to join the school. Not until I got to learn about Isaac at the Blue Plus. Then I came with some of my friends, so we are now doing the course.